Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Nancy, and if you're new to my channel, kindly subscribe, share and like my videos. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make a simple vintage shirt. Obviously, I know you're used to seeing me rocking the outfits before the tutorial begins or wearing it on a mannequin, but this tutorial was quite urgent. So it was actually filmed at night to be delivered the next morning, but don't worry about that. I'm going to explain this the simplest way I can so that even beginners can be able to make a vintage shirt. The name of the fabric is called a silk fabric. The amount of fabric I used in making this shirt is 1.5 yards. The first step is to fold the fabric into two as shown. The next step is to mark the starting line. Also take note that this is the front piece of the shirt, and on the front piece of a shirt you also make a placket which will be in the center front of the shirt. So I'm going to mark 2 inches from these edges as shown, and these 2 inches will be the placket in the center front of the shirt where the buttonhole is going to be made, and on the other placket the button itself will be attached to it. This tutorial is quite different from the previous tutorial I did on how to make a shirt, and I'll use this opportunity to answer some questions that was asked in the previous shirt tutorial. Now take note that all measurements will be starting from this new vertical line. The first measurement to place is the neck measurement. Now I'll place my tape starting from this line to mark a neck width of 3 inches and a neck depth of 3 inches to connect the 2 points together in form of a curved neckline. The next measurement is the shoulder measurement. Our shoulder measurement is 17 inches. If you divide by 2, that's 8.5 inches plus half inch sewing allowance, making it 9 inches. Now I will go down below the 9 inches point to mark 1 inch and to connect it to the neck width to form the shoulder slope of the shirt. Alright, now I'm going to place my tape starting from the shoulder line to mark the bust line. The bust line is gotten by dividing the armhole circumference into 2. Our armhole is 19 inches divided by 2, that is 9.5 inches. So I'll mark 9.5 inches. The next line is the waistline, which is 16 inches. The full length of the top is 26 inches. I added 1.5 inches sewing allowance to the hem to make it 27.5 inches. The next step is to extend the tip of the shoulder slope vertically downwards to the bust line. After you've gotten the vertical line, you place the tape on the vertical line to mark the midpoint of this line. And once the midpoint is marked, you connect it to the bust line in form of a curve to form the armhole curve. After this, the next step is to place the bust circumference. Our bust circumference is 44 inches. If you divide by 4, you have 11 inches. Then you should add 2.5 inches sewing allowance to the side. The next step is to place the waist circumference. The waist circumference is 14 inches. If you divide by 2, you have 10 inches plus 2 inches sewing allowance to the side. And on the hem line, you divide the hip circumference by 4. The hip circumference divided by 4 is 11.5 inches plus 2 inches sewing allowance to the side, and you connect that point to the waist point as shown. And since this is a female shirt, we should make a little shape at this side. I'll mark 2 inches vertically from the hem and then 5 inches horizontally from the hem to connect the 2 points together. Now I'll trim out the front piece. Take note that we didn't add any sewing allowance to the shoulder slope, so I need to add about half inch sewing allowance so it doesn't alter the measurements I took already. So I'll mark half inch above the shoulder slope, and this will be the sewing allowance on the shoulder to attach it to the back piece. So someone asked a question on the Telegram group that after sewing the front piece and the back piece of her shirt, the back piece was wider than the front piece. So I would say maybe she made a little mistake during the cutting process. But in order to avoid such mistakes at all, it is advisable that you follow this other method of sewing a shirt. So in this case, you don't have to place the front piece on the folded fabric to cut the back piece. All you have to do first is to fold the placket of the front piece. Now I folded the placket of the front piece, making sure that it's 2 inches on fold. Then I'll take this to the sewing machine to secure the edges, and I'll also fold the placket of the other piece, making sure that it's 2 inches in. Then I'll secure the two sides of the edges. Alright, so I've secured the plackets of both pieces. The next step is to place the right part of the placket on the left part of the placket to pin the plackets together as shown. After pinning the plackets together, the next step is to fold the front piece into two. Now to get the back piece of the shirt, you fold the fabric into two as shown. To place the front piece directly on the fold. And with this method, both the front piece and the back piece of your shirt will be equal. So the only difference between the front piece and the back piece right now is that the shoulder slope for the back piece is 2 inches higher than the shoulder slope for the front piece. And the neck depth for the back piece is 1 inches. I'll connect the neck depth to the neck width of the back piece to form a curved neckline. The next step is to trim out the back piece. Now the next step is to place the front piece on the back piece as shown to secure the shoulder slope by ½ inch. After I secure the shoulder slope, the next step is to secure the sides of the shirt by 1 inch. After securing the shoulder slope, you should turn the shirt to the right side of the fabric. Now I'm going to place my tape on the neck circumference to take the neck measurements. The neck measurement is 18 inches. This simply means that the width of the collar should also be 18 inches. The name of the interfacing I'll be using for the collar is called a gum stay. So I folded this gum stay into two. The next step is to mark the neck circumference divided by 2. The neck circumference is 18 inches. So I divided it by 2 and this is 9 inches. So this is the horizontal line of 9 inches. Now I'm going to place my tape on this line to mark the midpoint, which is 4.5 inches. And on the tip of this line, I'm going to mark ½ inch below that point to connect it to the midpoint as shown. After this, I'm going to be marking just 1 inch for the wideness of the collar. To connect the dotted points together, now the next step is to mark the collar stand. For the collar stand, I'll also be using a neck width of 9 inches. So this horizontal line is 9 inches wide. And the length of the collar stand is 2.5 inches. Now I'll connect the dotted lines together. Now to get the collar spread for this collar stand, you need to mark 1 inch at this point to connect it to this angle as shown. And on the center fold at this point, you need to mark ½ inch above that point to connect it to this other point as shown. And this is all for the collar stand. Now I'm going to trim the bishop part of the collar and the collar stand itself. Now I place the interfacing of both collars on the fabric to cut out exactly the same shape, but adding ½ inch sewing allowance to the sides. And I also glued the interfacing on one side of each collars. Now the next step is to place the collar stand right side to right side. So I'll take this to the sewing machine to secure the edges of the collar stand, following the direction of my finger. And after securing the collar stand, I turned it to the right side of the fabric. The next step is to place the collar stand on the upper part of the bishop collar. Then you also place the other side of the bishop collar directly on each other. And to secure this, you have to fold this edge in by 1/4 of an inch. Then you secure it to this point, and when you get to this point, you fold this edge by 1/4 of an inch. After I secured the collar, I'll turn this to the right side of the fabric. So the next step is to attach the collar to the neckline of the shirt. So this part of the collar without the gum stay will be pinned on the wrong side of the neckline as shown. And I'll take this to the sewing machine to secure it by ½ inch. After attaching the collar to the neckline of the shirt, the next step is to close the collar by folding this part of the collar with the gum stay ½ inch on the edges to secure it all through. The next step is to make the sleeve. To do this, you need to take the measurements of the armhole circumference on the shirt. Here I have 11 inches. For the sleeve, I folded the fabric into two. The next step is to mark the starting line of the sleeve, after which I'll place my tape vertically to mark the cap sleeve, which is 4 inches. and the full length of the sleeve is 11 inches. And I added 1.5 inches sewing allowance to the hem, which made it 12.5 inches altogether. Now on the cap sleeve line, I'll be placing the armhole measurements I measured on the shirt, which is 11 inches plus 1 inch sewing allowance. That will make it 12 inches altogether. After this, I will connect this point to the tip of the starting line to form a slant line, and the next step is to get the midpoint of this slant line. To connect this point, half inch above the slant line to the tip of the shoulder and half inch below the slant line to the tip of the cap sleeve line. The next step is to place the round sleeve measurement. The round sleeve measurement is 13 inches divided by 2, 6.5 inches. Now I'll place 1 inch sewing allowance to the side to connect it to the tip of the cap sleeve as shown. And because I want to be using a lining on this sleeve, I need to add half inch to the side of the actual hem circumference to connect it in form of a triangle as shown. Now I'll trim out the sleeve. And you should also use this sleeve to cut out the second sleeve. The next step is to fold the hem of the sleeve in by 1 inch and further fold it in by half an inch. Alright, so I'm going to also repeat the same sewing process for the second sleeve, and after sewing you have to fold the sleeve into 2 to secure the sleeve by 1 inch. The next step is to attach the sleeve to the armhole of the shirt by half inch. The next step is to unpin the plackets, so you can easily attach the buttons to one side of the plackets and make the buttons on the other side of the plackets. And the final step is to secure the hem of the shirt by folding it in by half an inch and further folding it in by half an inch all through. Alright guys, thanks for watching to the very end. I hope this tutorial was helpful, and if you are new to my channel, kindly subscribe, share and like my videos, and also put on your notification bell to be notified when I upload new tutorials. Thank you.